You're running your freelance business or your agency, a new client comes in, they explain to you their project, and you really want to take it, but something feels a little off. Do you take on the project or do you pass? We're going to talk about that today. My name's Michael Janda. I share systems and strategies to help your creative business. I started my agency in 2002. We had some massively successful projects for clients like Google and Disney and NBC and Warner Brothers and National Geographic and everybody in between. It was a great run. I sold my agency in 2015 and now I'm focused on developing content to help creatives level up in their careers. Now, in contrast to the successful projects that we also had some massive failures. We had projects that cost me a lot of money. We took on clients that we shouldn't have said yes to. We took on projects we shouldn't have said yes to. And I didn't know in advance whether I should take on the project or not. And I just went with my gut. And that's what a lot of designers and creatives and freelancers are doing. They're just kind of going with their gut, hoping for the best. A new client comes in, something feels a little off, and you're not sure if you should take it or not. Well, I developed a system to help make that decision, to help you analyze the client and decide methodically whether it's a good opportunity or whether you should pass. I'm going to share that system with you today. It's a two-part system. Part number one is the new project analysis, and then part number two is a new project interview. I've created a little PDF that's free on my website, michaeljanda.com. You can find the link in the description. This PDF has one side that is the new project analysis and the other side that is the new project interview. Both of these things work hand in hand to help you decide whether you should take on a project opportunity or not. Now, we're going to dig into the analysis side of this document in this video, and the second part is going to be the interview portion of the document. Both of these are going to help you in your discovery meetings with a client and then your post-discovery meeting when you're trying to decide whether you should take on a project or not. When you get a new project opportunity, you're really looking for three different things. You're trying to decide if this is the right client, if it's the right project, and if it's the right price. Those three things are kind of the trifecta of the great opportunity. If you can find the right client, project, and price, you're well on your way to a successful project that's going to be profitable for you. It's going to help you build your portfolio. It's going to be an enjoyable experience. And that's what you're looking for. So I've categorized this analysis into those three categories: the client, project, and price. Now we're going to dig in to all 20 of these elements that you should be analyzing right now. Let's get started. Now, each of these elements in our analysis has three different answers. There's a red answer, which is a red flag. These are things that are warning signs about an opportunity that it may not be a good fit. There's the yellow answer, which doesn't really hurt your chance of success, but it doesn't really help it either. And then there's the green answer, and the green answer is what we're really looking for. You find a lot of green answers in your analysis, and you know that you've got a really good chance of succeeding in the project. Now, in part two of this video, we're going to talk about all of the ways that you can extract this information from your client. We're going to talk about the questions you should ask in your discovery meeting, and we're going to talk about the research that you should do in advance of the meeting and after the meeting to help you get the right information to make this analysis. The first category we're going to look at has 9 items that relate to the client, whether this is the right client or not. And the first element of that is the client's business health. Are they struggling to make a profit? Are they making ends meet? Or are they a very successful business where their business is healthy? This is the first thing you're going to take a look at. So analyze your client and mark one of those 3 answers. Are they struggling to make a profit? Are they making ends meet? Or are they a very successful business? Item number 2 is your personal relationship with the client. If you've never worked together, that's your red answer, that you've never had a lot of projects built up and built that relationship yet. So you don't have that personal relationship. Your yellow answer is if they've been referred to you. So you know that there's some second tier relationship that they've been referred over to by somebody that you know. And then the green answer is that this is a client that you've had several or many successful projects together and you've got a really strong relationship already. Item number 3 is the client's past experience working with different agencies. If a client comes in and they're complaining about all the agencies they've worked with in the past, that's a red flag. We had a client a few years ago who came in and they kind of bragged to us that they had fired their last 6 agencies. And they did it in a kind of an arrogant way that they were trying to put pressure on us to do a good job because all the other agencies had done a bad job in the past. Now, that was a big red flag to us that they're explaining to us their negative experience working with agencies. A client who has fired 6 other agencies, it's hard for me to believe that the client wasn't the problem here. Now, it's hard to believe that 6 agencies all failed in their ability to satisfy the needs of this client. It turns out we ended up doing some work for the client, and it was a challenge to say the least. We ended up discontinuing working with them. That's a nice way of saying that we fired the client and moved on after just one headache after another. Now, the yellow answer here is that they've had minimal experience working with different agencies. And then the green answer, what you want and what you're looking for, is a client who's had robust experience working with different agencies, and they know that process. The next item is their perception of you. And on the sheet, you'll see it says perception of us. What do they think about our agency? The red answer is that we kind of are viewed as production monkeys, that we're just there to push the buttons for them and do whatever they say. The next answer is that we're a necessary but expendable element. You kind of get the sense where they know they need to hire an agency, but you feel expendable in the eyes of the client. And then the green answer, and what you're really looking for and what you're hoping to find in the great right client, is the one who views you as the expert in the room. The one who sits down and says, you tell me what I need to do. Help me grow my business, or help me with my marketing. Help me expand my brand reach. That's what you're looking for. The clients who view you as the expert in the room, that's the right type of client that you're trying to find. The next item is future opportunities. The red answer here is that this is a one-off project. It's one and done. The client comes in and this is one project and there's no chance of future projects. Now, these clients that have one project, a one-off project, and there's no chance of future work, this is a red flag because you're going to do a lot of work trying to teach this client your processes and help them understand your production flow. You're going to build relationships with them. You're going to get them into your project management software and into your QuickBooks account. And you're going to do all this work to get this client integrated into your business, and then never have work again from that client. So this is not an ideal situation where this is a one-off project. The next item is that there's possible future work. And then the final one is that there's tons of potential of work. You know that they spend a lot of money on marketing. You know that if you build this relationship and integrate them into your client list and into your company, that it could potentially yield a lot of future projects. Next, we're going to look at the client's network. The red answer here is that they don't know very many people. This is a client who's not very well connected. The yellow answer is that they have a decent network, that they're somewhat known and they are involved somewhat in the business community. And then the green answer is that they have a ton of influential relationships, that building a client relationship with them could yield referrals. That's what we're looking for with their network. Is this a potential opportunity for us to land this client and then have that yield future opportunities within their network? Next item, technical knowledge. The red answer is that they're behind the times. They really just struggle with things as simple as email and internet. The yellow answer is that they're functional with the basics. that they get how to use their email. They can use Google Docs and things, some of the standard technical things that you would hope that anybody in 2019 would be able to do. And then the final answer is that they're very technically savvy, that they understand how to use different SaaS applications, that you can share files with them and they understand what they're receiving and how to download them and how to view them, that they understand or will easily be able to adapt into your production management software. These are the technically savvy clients. Even better are ones who understand some of the applications that you use, the Adobe Creative Suite, or some internet technologies and things that they have some understanding of that. Those are the kinds of clients that usually end up being the good kinds of clients where you don't have to hold their hand through all of the technical aspects of your relationship. Next, we have communication. And item number 1 is incoherent babble. This is the red answer. I've had a lot of clients. They come into my office and they start talking about their business and you just can't even really understand what they're even talking about. Now, I know that it's not my fault. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I've also sat in a lot of meetings. And when a client comes in and starts talking about their business and it seems like they struggle to share with you what their business does and how it works and how they make money and what their ideas are, that's the incoherent babble. Those are the ones that you know that communication is going to struggle throughout the course of the project. The yellow answer is that it's good enough. That you can ask the right questions and get the answers that you need. And then the green answer is that it's very clear and organized and instructional, that they're really good at communicating. Now, when you analyze a client's ability to communicate, you want to do it in 2 different facets. Their verbal communication, when you interact face-to-face with them, and then also the written communication, when they email you. Are they able to convey what they're thinking via email or written correspondence in your production software? That's what you're looking for in the client's communication ability. The final element relating to the client is the notoriety. Now, item number 1, the red answer is you wouldn't tell anybody that they're your client. Now, if this is the situation, then you really got to take a close look at whether you want to be working for this client or not. The yellow answer is that you're not embarrassed, but you're not really proud either that this is a client. And then the final answer, the green answer, is that this would be one of your top 5 clients, one of the ones that you would be most proud of. They'd be on your homepage with their logo, and you'd share in your first list of clients that we do work for X client. That's the kind that you're looking for. So that's the notoriety element. How proud are you that this is a client of yours? Now, we've gotten through this list. We've talked about the client aspect of this new opportunity. Now, you can go down the list and mark at the bottom the total number of red answers, the total number of yellow answers, and the total number of green answers. You tally those up, and this is going to help you as you do your analysis. We'll talk a little bit more about that coming up. Okay, next, let's talk about the project, whether this is a good project. We've analyzed the client. Now we're going to talk about the project. The first item relating to the project is the expertise alignment. How well does this project align with your expertise, of your personal expertise or the expertise of your agency? The red answer is that you've never done a project like this before. That's something that you've got to be careful taking on projects that you've never done before. Now, I've said yes to a lot of projects that I've never done before, and I dig in and I figure out how to make it happen. Now, there's something good about that, but it's a red flag in this situation where it's not fully aligned with your expertise. The yellow answer is that you can figure it out, that you're confident enough that you've done related projects that you can figure this one out. And the green answer is that you've done a ton of projects that are exactly like this one, that this is right in your wheelhouse, and that you're very confident saying yes to this project because you can know you can knock it out of the park. Next is your client's production knowledge. How well do they know the flow of a project, like what they're asking for? The red answer here is that the client is asking you to do something that they've never done before, that they don't understand the production flow, what happens from point A to point Z in this project, and you're going to have to teach them all along the way. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, because you do a lot of hand-holding with your clients anyway, but it is a red flag in that you know you're going into it, you're going to have to teach them every step of the way. The yellow answer is that they've had some related past experience, and the green answer is that they've done a lot of projects just like this, that they have a very firm understanding of the production flow of this project. You know that when you deliver something to them, they're going to know what they're looking at, and they're going to be able to give you the right feedback, that they understand each aspect of this project. The next thing we'll look at relating to whether this is the right project or not is the deadline. Now, if this is going to require nights and weekends for you to be able to execute on the client's deadline, that's a red flag. That's something that you need to worry about and watch for going into the project. The yellow answer is that it's a reasonable timeline, and the green answer is that there's plenty of time to do the project right. You're not going to have to cut any corners. You're not going to have to skimp on the project flow. You've got a lot of time to do the project right. The next item relating to the project is whether you have decision maker access or not. There are a lot of different roles in a project, and a lot of times you're working with somebody who's more of a gatekeeper, or they're an influencer, and they're not necessarily the decision maker themselves. And what we want to be able to do is have access to that decision maker. If you haven't had this experience yet, you will at some point, where you start working with a client and you get through your 3 rounds of comps, and the person you're interacting with says, "Oh, this is great, we love it." And then on round 3, they finally show it to the real decision maker, and that decision maker comes in and has a lot of changes. Now, the closer we have a relationship to the decision maker, the better chance of success we have for the project. The red answer is that you have no access to the decision maker. The yellow answer is that you have some intermittent access with the decision maker, and the green answer is that you're working directly with the decision maker. They may not be the account manager on the client side, but they are involved in all of the delivery meetings, and they see each round of comps, and they have that opportunity for feedback throughout the project from the very first things that you're delivering. That's the golden opportunity, the green response. You want to have access to that decision maker. Next, we have competition. Now, how many people are you competing against to try and win this project? A red response is that it's an open RFP, that there are a lot of different people competing on this. The reason this is a red flag is that you're going to put a lot of work into your proposal, crafting the proposal, presenting it to the client, and if it's a heavy competition, it makes it more difficult to land the work. The yellow answer is that there's some competition, some moderately competitive, and the green answer is that you are the agency of choice, that the client wants you to have the work. Now, sometimes this means that you're the only person bidding on it, and other times it can be that you are the number one choice, and you know that going into it. Next, we have risk factor. Now, the risk factor relates to how risky is this for the client's business. And the red answer you'll see is that if you fail, the client's business will fail. You want to have somebody stressed out, it's a client who hires you to build an e-commerce store or an app that is their business. If it doesn't work, the client's business fails. Now, that's a high stress, high pressure project that the client will be high stress and demanding, and you've really got to perform. So that's a red flag answer. The yellow answer is that there's no major risk to their business. And the green answer is that if you fail on the project, whether it's your fault that you fail or not, the client's business will be fine. So it's not a very risky project. The final item relating to the project is the portfolio opportunity. Now, if you're never going to show this project to anyone, that's a red flag. You don't want to do all this work and have it be something that you're just embarrassed to even show. The next one is that it's possible portfolio piece. That's your yellow answer. And the green answer is that it's a potential award-winning project. That you know that the project that the client's asking for has all of the elements that will allow you to be creative, innovative, and create something really dynamite that you would want to submit for different awards. Now that's our analysis of the project. Again, go down this list and tally up all your red answers, green answers, and yellow answers, and this will help you in your analysis when we wrap things up here in a couple of minutes. The final 4 items relate to price. Is this the right price? Again, the right client, the right project, the right price. So we're going to look at these 4 different items, and the first one is profit potential. The red answer is that this is a tight budget, that you may not make any money on it, or you may lose money on the project, even worse. The yellow answer is that it's enough profit to be worth it. And the green answer is the cha-ching answer, that you can make a ton of money, a ton of profit on the project. That's the golden one. That's the green one that you really want to find. Next, we have fair market value. And this is an analysis of the client's budget. If their budget is below market value, meaning that it's less than what other people are charging or what you've charged in the past for the same type of work, that's a red answer. Yellow is that it's right in harmony with fair market value. And then the green answer is that the client's budget is bigger than fair market value. Those are the ones that you're looking for. But the yellow answers in this situation are just fine. Now we have payment terms. And payment terms, if the client's wanting to delay their first payment, that's a red answer. You got to be careful when a client says, oh, we really want you to do this work, but can we pay you in 30 days, or can we pay you in 60 days, or our funding is just coming in. Those kinds of things are red flags. You got to be careful of those. The yellow answer is that the client is comfortable with your payment terms, and the green answer is that the client is happy to pay upon receipt of invoice. As soon as you invoice them, they want to pay you. They feel that they want to make this a win-win for you financially, so they're eager and happy to pay their invoices quickly. Now, finally, we have money source. And this is one that I'm super passionate about because this one stung me probably more than any other item on this entire list of 20. How emotionally attached is the client to the money that is funding this project? Now, if you look at the red answer here, that they're paying for this project based on personal debt or personal cash, that they're very attached to the money. This makes them typically more high stress, more emotionally charged throughout the project because they're very emotionally attached to the investment. Next is that they're funding this based on external debt, that they've taken on investors and they feel this responsibility to perform for those investors. It's not necessarily bad, not necessarily good. There's a little bit more emotional charge in the relationship when they've gone that way. And then the third one, the green answer, is that this is a very successful business, that it's self-funded through a large corporation. Sometimes they're publicly traded, where the person you're working with is not emotionally attached to the money that they're spending to fund the project. Now, those are the items that relate to the money source, and the 4 items that relate to whether this is the right price or not. Now, again, take each of these items and total up your number of reds, your number of yellows, and your number of greens. And then we're going to start working on our analysis. We can total up the total number of red, yellow, and green responses that we had from all 3 categories, and we can start doing our analysis. You can see right off the bat that if you have a lot of red responses, that's something that you should really take a look at that client and determine whether this is something that you want to take on or not. If you have a lot of green answers, then you know that you can go into the project with a good chance of success. And yellow answers don't really hurt you or help you. It's a decent opportunity. Now, for the last 10 years, I've been trying to create a systematic way to spit out one number that would tell you if this is going to be a successful project or not. I built spreadsheets that would allow you to put in the numbers and it would spit out the final number and tell you that this project was an 8.4 out of 10. And you could look at it and say, okay, that's a good chance of success. Or it was a 1 or a 2 out of 10 and you knew it was going to be a fail. And as much as I wanted to distill it down to a certain gradation of numbers, I couldn't do it. And the reason is that it's not fully weighted. The truth of the matter is that this is not a perfect science, but it is extremely valuable for you as you're analyzing a project opportunity. And it's valuable for two different reasons. Number one, it's going to help you make a decision on whether you should take on the project or pass. If there are a lot of red flags, then you might want to pass. If there are a lot of green answers, then you know that it might be worth taking on. So it's going to help you with that analysis instead of just sitting at the table in the discovery meeting with your client and then kind of getting that weird vibe that this isn't the greatest thing. We're not sure what's wrong with this project. Something feels off, but we're not quite positive what it is. You're going to be able to look at this analysis and say, oh, I get it. You know what's off? The client doesn't know what they're asking for. The client's a bad communicator. Or the client has bad source of money. Or the project may be unprofitable. You're going to be able to put your finger right on the items that are potentially damaging to the success of the project. That's reason number one that this is valuable. Reason number two that this is a valuable analysis is that if you do take on a project, you're going to have identified the potential challenges right out of the gate, and you're going to be able to go into the project knowing what those challenges are and be able to manage the project in a way that counteracts those challenges. If you know that the client's a bad communicator, that's their red flag, then you're going to work hard to communicate with them. If you know that the project has potential challenge for profitability, then you know that you're going to go into it really watching the scope and watching the time that you spend on it. All those kinds of things are going to help you manage the project in a way that counteracts the red flags. This analysis will help you determine whether an opportunity is the right client, the right project, and the right price. Now again, you can download this PDF on my website. Link is in the description. In the next video, I'll be sharing with you the interview questions that you can ask your client, and I'll talk to you a little bit about how to do some of the research to be able to extract this information as you prepare to do this analysis. Feel free to download it and share it with your friends. If you like this type of content, please subscribe to my channel where I'll be sharing strategies and systems that can help your creative business. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video.